Even Finnegan likes to get into the tiki roll. Finnegan. Well, kind of begrudgingly, but nonetheless.
Hi everybody. So as you can see, we're still doing our tiki thing here. And the cocktail of the evening is the Singapore Sling. And the inspiration for this was actually this necktie, which was a very generous gift from our friend Susan Overstreet. Don't know if you can see it, but it's a really, really nice tie. And this tie is actually from the Raffles Hotel in Singapore, which is where the Singapore Sling was originally invented. And I think it's an interesting cocktail to do to show sort of the history of tiki cocktails and some of the stuff I was saying about tiki cocktails before. One thing being that tiki cocktail recipes are very inconsistent. You can see a whole range of different ingredients and different ratios to the ingredients over time, and this is one that's really evolved. So it was apparently invented, rumor has it, around 1915 at the Long Bar at the Raffles Hotel in Singapore. And the first written recipe that is known is from the Savoy Cocktail Book, which was written in 1930 by Harry Craddock, and which says that the drink is basically 2 parts of cherry brandy, 1 part gin, the juice of 1/4 of a lemon, and some sugar syrup. So those were the basic ingredients back then. And then if you fast forward to the late 1940s, you have The Fine Art of Mixing Drinks by David Embry. Now David Embry, this is one of the classic cocktail books, and David Embry actually was not a bartender or a mixologist. He was a corporate and tax attorney who liked to drink, so I like this book because, you know, attorneys know what they're talking about. So he had the Singapore Gin Sling, which in his version was a teaspoon of sugar syrup, the juice of 1/4 lemon or 1/2 a large lime, 1 pony, which is 1 ounce of cherry brandy, and 1 1/2 jiggers of gin, which would have been about 2 1/2 ounces of gin, and a dash of Angostura bitters. So you can see he expanded on it, add some bitters to it, and then tiki cocktails came to the United States first after World War II, when the servicemen were coming back from the Pacific, and they had been exposed to some of these, you know, flavors and things over in the Pacific. And then there was a real resurgence of them in the 70s. And in the 70s is when this drink sort of morphed from really a gin and cherry brandy drink to what I think a lot of people think of as a Singapore Sling, which is a really sweet gin. It's like gin and sour mix, and a lot of sweetness, a lot of grenadine actually. And that recipe is probably what most people think of. It was probably perpetuated by all the Polynesian restaurants and things like that. And then today there's been a bit of a resurgence, people trying to get back to the original drink. So there's a whole bunch of variations. I'm going with what is claimed to be the current version of it served at the Raffles Hotel. So these days what it consists of is gin, and I'm using again the 7 Caves Tiki Gin. Cherry liqueur of some kind, I'm using Cherry Hearing. Some orange liqueur, I'm using Cointreau. Something herbal, which is Benedictine in most cases here. Then you've also got lime juice, pineapple juice, grenadine. This is my own homemade grenadine, which is very simple to make. It's just pomegranate juice and sugar. It's like a simple syrup. And then you top it all off with club soda. Oh, and I forgot the bitters. So again, like all the tiki cocktails, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of ingredients to this. Going to serve it in our fancy hurricane glasses, which we filled with crushed ice. So, to make 2, I'm going to start with everything here in my mixing tin. I'm going to need 3 ounces of gin. So, there's 2, and 3. And I'm afraid we don't have any music because it started playing ads, and I don't think we want to have any ads going here. So there's our gin, and we're going to add the cherry liqueur, which for 2 drinks we just want 1 ounce. So this is more, unlike the 70s sweet version, this is more gin forward than some of those. And then 1/4 ounce of Cointreau. So for 2 drinks we want 1/2 ounce. And you'll see I'm referring to a recipe over here because there's no way I could remember all of this stuff. And then the Benedictine, we're going to also go with 1/4 per drink, so 1/2 ounce of Benedictine.
That's going to fill those glasses?
You'll see. Well, it's mostly ice. But we got to put in our juices. So we need 8 ounces of pineapple juice. So this is a 6-ounce can of pineapple juice. There's 6. We need another 2 ounces of pineapple juice. There's our pineapple juice. So that was an ingredient that was not in the original. Then we need 1 ounce of lime juice. So I've got fresh squeezed lime juice. There's 1 ounce. And 1 ounce of the grenadine. 1 ounce of grenadine. 2 dashes of Angostura. 1, 2. And then we're going to shake it all up with our ice. You want to give it a good shake, get some froth going. We're going to strain it into our hurricane glasses. With the crushed ice already in there. Now you probably, if you've ever had, see, it's going to fill the glasses. If you've ever had a Singapore Sling, you probably think of it as being kind of pinkish or red. That's because they use a lot more grenadine than I used here and what the traditional recipe calls for. And then we top it with club soda. Just 1 ounce or 2 of that. And garnishes, again, are all over the place. This one, I went with a pineapple wedge and a maraschino cherry. That's my own homemade maraschino cherry. And then we need our eco-friendly paper bamboo straws here.
Wow.
You didn't think it was going to fill the glass?
No.
I got extra.
Ye little babe.
There you go. So there is the Singapore Sling.
Lordy.
Thanks for the tie, Susan. It's a beautiful tie that has found a good home. And cheers to Saturday night, everybody. Very nice.